Dale Matthews, Grants Pass. Roger Brandt is one of our greatest natural resources in this county. I love this guy, and he's done so much work out at the IV. And I sat down with him before this, and I said, Roger, I'm going to have to oppose you on this grant, but I love what you're doing, and I'm going to donate $100 out of my own pocket, which compared to the salaries of the commissioners is pretty significant, because I make about 1/10 of what you do. Here's the problem. His group came forward and said, we want $33,000 to build a wheelchair ramp and some other things at a state park. And we want to use economic development money for that. Now, Commissioner Heck even said at that moment, well, I don't know if this is a bunch of hooey. It is. Now, $33,000 is magically transformed into $5,240. Know how precise that amount is, really. And it's going to create something like 200 full-time family wage jobs in its wake. Not to build the wheelchair ramps, after they're built. It's going to generate over 200 jobs in the IV. They need jobs. But this is a bunch of hooey. No, it's not going to create 200 full-time family wage jobs after it's all built. This is economic development money. And if it's really true that you can invest $5,000 to $5,240 and end up with $1 million within 200 jobs and everyone marching in the streets, you ought to only do those projects. Stop everything else on this report that's never come from Commissioner Cheryl Walker. She promised us 6 months ago that we'd get a report about how this money would be spent, and we still haven't seen anything of it. Stop everything and invest only in these kinds of projects. Because the return is fantastic. It's not only fantastic, it's impossible. We are not going to generate 200 full-time family wage jobs out of building a wheelchair ramp in a park. It doesn't have senior water slides. It's just a park. It's a very nice park, I'm sure, that almost no one's ever heard of. But great. If you spend the money on this, you'll be remembered forever. Not just for pushing on some kind of junk ordinances that nobody wanted in the first place. Not for claiming that words were put into your mouth and it was proved that it was totally false. Not for drinking and driving and blaming everybody else. You commissioners will be blamed for spending economic development money on something that's not going to be developing any economics. I love Roger Brandt. I want them to succeed. I'm going to give him money. You should not.
Yes, sir.